and good morning. Good morning. There we go, good. Hearty welcome. You go into fierce questioning, right? Maybe 2 or 3 minutes. How does it work? How do these sensors work? Connectivity, and what happens if you lose network connection, if a car swerves in front of me? And I'm sort of a geek, so I had about 5 minutes of fierce questioning. And then after that, it's like, are we there yet? This thing drives slower than my grandmother on Sunday, right? We went from exhilarating to expecting, from mind-blowing to mundane in 4 minutes flat. What's changed? Simply we're seeing this dynamic break out everywhere. As I say it, tech is breaking out of tech, and every industry is having that mind-blowing to mundane experience. This is our vision. Any device, any application, and let's dig into that piece of the picture just a little bit more carefully. Apps are about unleashing the potential of your most valuable resource, your people. And goal is simple: provide anywhere access to the apps that enable the people that are part of your work and your customer base. But when we look at this picture, it's complicated, it's hard. Lots of devices and confusing mess of devices and applications and services and security. And this results in not just confusion and difficulty for your users, but also in how you run and operate your environment. Many silos inside of the IT departments. What a mess. And fundamentally, Workspace ONE for us is putting all of those pieces together to solve many of those problems and deliver that consumer simple iTunes-like experience, but yet enterprise secure. Workspace ONE has 3 core value propositions. First, the idea of apps and identity in a consistent way. And literally, this is how we run VMware, right? We've built our applications, user experiences on this consistent environment. Second, from an operational perspective, consistent management and security across that range of experiences, delivered both on-premise as well as in the cloud, working for what we do as well as our Horizon service working on Azure Cloud as well. And across a broad ecosystem of devices, both desktop and mobile devices as well. And without a question, VMware delivers the broadest ecosystem in the industry by far. With AirWatch, we sort of built our foundation on the Apple iOS product. We quickly expanded that to include the broad ecosystem of Android devices. From there, went deep with Samsung, added Windows 10, and as Microsoft has declared the end of SCCM for device management, a modern unified endpoint management architecture and an explosive interest from customers in managing Windows 10 devices in a new and modern way. And expanded that and integrating those capabilities directly into Dell devices we announced earlier this year. A couple of weeks ago, expanding to support Chromebooks, an exclusive partnership with Google in that area. And today, happy to announce integrating that with the HP clients as well, and with Dion Weisler, the CEO of HPI, integrating, and they're building their device as a service offering specifically with AirWatch devices. So huge breakthroughs and advancements in what we're doing for device and end user management. So we've looked at any device and any application. Let's dig a little bit more into cloud, and let's talk about cloud starting with private cloud. And how many of you remember your first mind-blowing experience with ESX or GSX or WSX? Right? You can't do that in software. And I remember when I was I'm running the enterprise group for Intel, and that's the server business for Intel. And Mendel and Diane, right, the founders of VMware, came to see me, right? And they came to see me sort of as we want Intel's partnership working, right, on this cool new technology called virtualization. And they said, hey, we can take 10 server chips and make it into one. And I looked at them and said, do you know what business I run? Right? I'm the server, more server chips is a good thing, not fewer are a good thing. And they were undeterred at the time, right? Wouldn't hesitate and just kept right on plowing ahead with their sales pitch to me of why Intel should support then VMware at the time. Now, I wasn't alone in my reaction, mind-blowing, how can this possibly work? And some of our early VMware salespeople says, I can't be, right? Just can't do that. With VMware Cloud Foundation, we moved past it. We expect it to work as a solution. The compute, storage, network, it's completely integrated with VMware Cloud Foundation, and we're now releasing VCF, VMware Cloud Foundation 2.2, with all the latest VMware technologies, vSphere, vSAN, NSX, Horizon, improved bring up and user interface, and enabling the data center to operate as an essential component of your cloud strategy, on-premise as well as in the cloud. There's another example of putting it together and making all of these pieces work. A key element of that is hyper-converged infrastructure, and VMware vSAN has just been a rocket ship. 10,000 customers. We're adding over 100 customers a day, and we've built an impressive ecosystem. We now have 12 servers and 2 OEM partners and 250 SKUs. And vSAN is a killer application for the latest Intel hardware. And being an Intel guy for many years, anything that showed off my silicon, I loved that software. And vSAN and the latest Optane drives, Dell 14G servers, wow, the performance improvements, this thing is killer. I'm working with Intel on our hit refresh campaign to accelerate the adoption of new hardware and software. But of course, the best way is as a complete solution, as a complete appliance. And that's what VxRail and VxRack are all about. And we just launched the latest versions of VxRail and VxRack SDDC with EMC, with all of the latest, the PowerEdge, flash components, the best way to take advantage and accelerate your journey to the private cloud. And of course, at the heart of all of that, vSphere 6.5. 6.5 has been the most rapidly adopted version of VMware's vSphere technology in our history. Twice the adoption rate of 6.5. Simple to use, built-in security, and simply put, a platform for every application that you would have in the data center. The only goal, 100% virtualized in everything that you do. So we've looked at the private cloud. Let's talk now about the public cloud. Very good. And we've gotten a very loud and clear signal from all of you that it isn't just about building the infrastructure, but how can we give increased application mobility across multiple clouds? And today we're delighted to announce the VMware Hdx technology. And what HCX does is it really attacks that seamless interoperability. And as you think about this, many of you have existing environments of older versions of vSphere, and how do you migrate those to modern internal or cloud environments? And how do you deal with the complexity? And what HCX does is it moves significantly beyond just vMotion, and it gives a loosely coupled architecture that leverages network overlay technology and allows us to connect on-premise old environments to modern environments on-premise, or old environments to cloud environments. And HCX Technologies is a fully integrated system that allows quick, secure movement of VMware workloads, complex applications, leveraging industry standard technologies like vMotion and data replication, but accelerating this migration. And really for IT, it's infrastructure modernization and cloud migration. Powerful new technology that we're announcing today. So what does IBM think?
And that's part of why I was so excited to be here, because we are one of the very first partners to embrace HCX. We appreciate working with you on it, and we are pumped to bring it to the market. It's going to solve so many really important needs for all of our clients. By combining the IBM Cloud with the VMware Cloud Foundation and HCX, we can make sure that all of our client data centers are integrated into globally available cloud services. This is a real unmet need. It's going to allow enterprises to scale up in a huge way. I'd also say we've got a consulting arm at IBM. I was with them yesterday. This is the product they are focused on for the rest of the year. We think this brings a lot of more enterprises into our cloud.
So we envision, and we said, make private cloud easy. We just discussed it. We talked about these major partnerships with the major cloud vendors, deep and innovating together, just like you heard now from IBM, and how we're expanding the broad reach in the industry as well. And we're delivering on that vision. And the fourth piece of that strategy, as we said, is to enable a portfolio of cloud services across any cloud. And this strategy has been driven by what we've heard from you. And as I talk to CIOs around the world, they have a range of challenges that they're trying to deal with. How do I move faster? How do I move my applications? How do I have a multi-cloud environment? And that fundamentally has driven what we are doing in this space. And the first thing that the VMware Cloud is out to do is consistent infrastructure across this range of different cloud alternatives. And in the multi-cloud world, we realize that we need to enable this compatibility across those. And today we have over 4,400 VMware Cloud provider partners. Partners like Virtustream, who are leaders in mission-critical workloads like SAP. Partnerships like OVH, deep relationships that we're co-innovating in hybrid cloud. And OVH, a longtime partner, 5 of the last 6 years, they've been our cloud provider partner of the year. And we're experiencing tremendous growth in Europe, now through the vCloud Air assets transition to OVH acceleration in US. They're building out their footprint throughout Asia. A committed partner with us on building the full SDDC offering for the marketplace. Today we're announcing expansion of our VMware Cloud Provider Program, VMware Cloud Verified. What this is that providers will carry this trust mark that they have made deep investments in the VMware technology set, supporting the full VMware stack and presenting that to customers. Today we have our first 5 VMware Cloud Verified partners, CenturyLink, Fujitsu, IBM, OVH, and Rackspace. And every one of these has made a deep commitment into the VMware Cloud stack and is delivering that full SDDC stack to you, our mutual customers. And we look forward to many future announcements as well of additional VMware Cloud partners. But we also know that our customers will take advantage of additional native cloud services from different cloud providers like Azure and Google Cloud. And while we love them all running on our stack, we fully realize there's a broad range of innovation that's occurring across. And our strategy is to uniquely embrace and enable all of those clouds for our customers. And with that, today we're offering a new set of SaaS-based cloud services to enable consistent operations even on other native cloud services as well. And these are the first of these 7 cloud services, and we're going to have many more over time that increase visibility across clouds, cost understanding, a common networking layer with NSX across multiple clouds, discovery services, management and provisioning services, increased security for data and applications. We're excited about this portfolio that will be expanding rapidly for VMware Cloud Services. And we need a new approach. And against that, VMware has taken an approach that we need to think differently about security. And first, we need to move from infrastructure to secure infrastructure, where we melt many of those core functionality directly into the infrastructure layer, literally built in, architected in, components that are standardized in your environment. Second, we need to work closely with the ecosystem that we need to integrate the controls, the context, the management, the validation of those pieces working together. And then finally, enabling a level of consistent cyber hygiene. I sort of think about this like a sports team. How do you have a championship team? You practice the basics. And almost every security breach has occurred because of lack of cyber hygiene. And if you think about cyber hygiene, it's really not that hard, right? But you need to do these simple things consistently and well. Things like least privilege. Unless you explicitly have access to that app or data, you don't. Right, being able to micro-segment, as you've heard us talk about today, like getting into past the lobby in a bank, you've got nothing. You've got many layers of security until you get to the good stuff. Encryption, if you get my data, you've got nothing but a bag of bits unless you have the keys to go with it. Multi-factor authentication, phish my password, you got access to nothing unless you have that second or third factor to go with it. And consistent patching and upgrades. And these are the things that we need to make it easy for you to do those things well. And if you did, you would not have been target, OPM Sony. It was the easy stuff that led to those breaches. We also want to address the topic that is maybe even more important on our minds here in Europe, GDPR. GDPR goes into effect 250 days from now. Are you ready? Right, and GDPR will impact thousands of customers and businesses globally. And the VMware approach to GDPR is really help you secure the data, automate the governance of it, and secure operations. And these three actions need to be taken to create an environment that you can satisfy your GDPR requirements, as are we. Personal data is just one of the types of data associated with it. It's financial, intellectual property, and other business data. And our broad portfolio of product-specific proof points and white papers to help you know how to apply these products. We want to help you be ready to satisfy the GDPR requirements that are coming soon. When we think about this idea of secure infrastructure, security built in, and we've started on this journey over the last several years. Workspace ONE with single sign-on, devices with AirWatch and MDM capabilities, networks with micro-segmentation, and we just released network encryption as well. Storage, we've added encryption into vSAN. But what about compute, our heritage? We've never used that as a point to deliver security until now. When we think about the security problem, think about the applications we're trying to protect. We'll have a typical operating system which have a variety of processes running on it, and all of these processes provide attack surface. Capture an IP, hijack a process, spawn a new service, override system functions, every one of those. And we simply call this a picture of chasing bad, where we have to search through everything that's going on to find that little piece of bad. Now, maybe there's a different way to do this, and we'll simply call that ensuring good. And the idea of chasing bad is sort of like a needle in a haystack. And literally, a typical virus scan process right now is 30+ million rules applied against every process, every service, every packet. How can that possibly ever succeed? Ensuring good is getting rid of the haystack. Can we flip the security model on its head? Can we enable a consistent environment that minimizes that attack surface? And that's exactly what App Defense does. First, we capture the intended state, the intended good. We combine the provisioning information, what vRealize or Puppet or Ansible would say, this is the intended state. We add to that machine learning, that the machine learns itself its own behavior. APIs for industry and a network service that captures outbreaks. All of these combine to say, this is the manifest of good behavior. Now, since it's being applied then at the virtual machine level, essentially we can detect deviations from good immediately in real time. It's never okay to write the master boot record. We tested App Defense with Petya and WannaCry, and it was like big red lights going off and sirens, immediately detecting those capabilities. And it isn't just that we can detect them, we can immediately automate response to them. We can automatically trigger responses based on your policies and the severity of the event that occurred. A policy might be stop the VM, turn on full packet encryption, honeypot it, send off an alert. Whatever it might be, we can capture, detect, and respond in real time. And we're excited to be working with the ecosystem. And we just began shipping this capability this last month, and we already have many from the ecosystem. You heard about IBM and the partnership we announced earlier with them. And they see this as a game changer. And we're working with others in the industry who see the excitement of ensuring good and how we can leverage the VM as a mechanism to do it. App Defense, a powerful new technology to attack the security challenges that we have. So we've taken a journey this morning. We've looked through every element of the VMware vision, and we together have had a powerful journey these last few years from any device and this explosion of new devices that we're now operating on for any application, both the cool new stuff as well as the legacy environment that we've built over many years, and how we can now operate that on any cloud, including telco environments and stretching to the edge. And finally, intrinsic security. We at VMware are just thrilled with the innovations that we have underway. You know, and the excitement, the passion, the pace of innovation. Today is the slowest day of technical innovation of the rest of your life. We're just going faster from the breathtaking speed that we're at today.